And Derby County ended up ringing me. I think it was a couple of days later. They had a reserve match against Boston United at Boston. Played against Boston United. I played crap. Played shit. I couldn't trap a bag of sand, to be honest. Didn't score. Didn't play particularly well. My dad rang me the next day. Said, Brendan's been on the phone. Yeah. Derby County want to sign you. You're joking? Yeah, no, they want to sign you. They want to sign you. So this was the day after the reserve game I've played. I had a bit of a sleepless night because it was like...
That's a chance. You're thinking that's a chance gone.
Yeah, I thought that was my chance gone. And luckily it turned out that they'd sent scouts pretty much the whole of the way through the season there. So it wasn't like they were just judging me on that one match, that one performance. They might have saw something. It happened, and like I never, ever looked back from that moment to then... going over to Pride Park and signing for Derby the next day.
Did they pay money for you?
They paid 55 grand up front, which was drop in the ocean for a Premier League team. I think they'd just sold Christie and Daly to Blackburn Rovers, I think, for like 5.75 million, I think, month before. So, I'm sure they had a little bit
risk,
of...
really. But to Nuneaton, I imagine 55 grand is a hell of a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Probably pays for the season, maybe.
Yeah. A huge amount of money for Nuneaton, and there was other things tied in there. So if I made my Premier League debut, another 25 grand. If I played another certain amount of games, another 25 grand. So I think all in all, there was potential there for about 130 grand for Nuneaton, which, as you said, for a non-league club, and for somebody that they'd paid, I don't know how many quid they'd paid me up until that point, a few £1,000s, was a dream come true for them. So for me to then, go over to Pride Park and like go in the offices there, I couldn't believe it. It was like it was all a whirlwind.
Is Dad your agent again?
Well, no, but by that time we were on like advice from someone. We
not the stuntman.
No, it was an ex-player. It was an ex-player, and there's a story here, right? So this ex-player, I can't mention names because there was something that happened a few years later that
tell us after
that I'll talk to you after. So we were using this ex-footballer as a consultant for the deal. So we get to Pride Park, get in the offices, meet Keith Loring, Derby chief executive, and Keith Pickering as well. He was the secretary. So we go in the office, and before we went in there, agent goes, right, if I shut my briefcase and walk out, you follow me. Right, okay. Have we got an understanding that that's happening? I was like, yeah, of course, absolutely, we'll do that. Me and my dad like, fucking no. Like we were doing the negotiation in the fucking pub like a few months ago, weren't we, for the Nuneaton Borough? So he must know what he's doing because he's been an ex-player. Right, that's what we do. Anyway, got in there. So bang, contract gets put down. He looks at it. Right, okay. Yeah, right, okay. Fucking puts it to one side. Fucking briefcase goes down.
Oh no, not first offer. No.
Briefcase goes down. I look at me dad. I think, fuck, we're leaving here. So up he goes, and off out he goes.
That's the signal.
So me and my dad were like looking at each other. Bear in mind, I'd seen what it said, as in money and length of contract. I'd seen it because he was sat in front of me, and I was like looking. I was thinking, licking my lips, going, "Ooh, right, this is all right." So it was £800 a week, and it was 35 grand signing on fee and 35 grand loyalty bonus if I was there at the end of the season.
I could just imagine you
Fucking hell.
dropping his anger. He's going to shut the briefcase.
I remember looking at the number. I looked at the numbers and I'm like, fucking, where's the pen? I was like, where's the fucking pen? But instead of that, we were out. We'd walked out, and me and my dad were like...
So did you get up and walk out then?
Yeah, we walked out. Me and my dad and my agent... He wasn't really my agent. I was like consulting for us. Anyway, and my dad went, what are we doing? He went, it's nowhere near enough. He said, and my dad went, well, what are you looking for then? He went, no idea, but that's... He went, no idea, but more than that. He went, don't worry, they'll be in touch.
So you've actually left Pride Park?
We'd left the offices at the time. The chief executive and the secretary, they couldn't fucking believe it.
No buys? Did you say bye or anything? Or
Not
did you
really,
just get up and
we
follow
were out. We were out. Before we were in, we were out. Honestly, it was. I wish we'd have filmed it. It was like comical. So we got out, and my dad was like, "Well, that didn't kind of feel right." So he said they'll be in touch. Well, like I was desperate at the time to be a footballer. Do you know what I mean? If it had said I'm probably doing it for free, I'd probably have signed it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it meant that I was going to be a professional footballer. So
basically, it's worth pretty much 110 grand a year, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sign on for your bonus, it's 110 grand, so you're on just over 2 grand a week, really.
Went from non-eating to a
Went
Premier
from
League football club.
135 quid.
And it was a 3-year contract as well. 3-year contract. And we'd walked away from that. And I remember thinking, fuck, this ain't right. And my dad went, and the agent ended up dropping us back off where we'd met him. We met him at a service station just off the M1. We met him, we dropped off, and he drove off. He said, "Don't. When they get back in touch, I'll ring you," the agent. Anyway, so my dad rang Brendan, the manager, and Brendan already knew what happened because the agent had rang him, and he was like, right, stay there. I was like, right, okay. I'm coming over. Obviously, it was a Leicester service station. Brendan was from the Leicester area. And Brendan said, "I've rang the club. We're going back." "I'm going back." "Yeah, stay in your car. Stay there. So Brendan drove over. We got in his car. We drove to Pride Park. We got in the office. He said, "Let's have a look at that contract." "Yep. You happy with that?" "Yep. Happy with that?" "Yep." "Okay, sign." Boom. Signed.
So you signed the original contract that they'd showed you first?
Yeah, I'm not going to negotiate. Yeah. Listen, yeah. I played 12 games in the Doc Martens Premier Division. I was playing for my brother's fruit and veg company a few months earlier. That was fine. That was fine.
I know it were fine, but obviously they have gone in as low as they can. You might have been able to get a little bit more.
I wasn't bothered at the time. To the Premier League
I wasn't bothered.
19-year-old.
I wasn't at the time, Parky. It wasn't about the money.
Yeah. Fair,
it was for my agent that was there, and now, like I say, I don't know what was he thinking. I mean, what was he thinking? He was thinking, right, Premier League, going into the Premier League, striker. What was he thinking? Money was good at the time. Yeah, it was decent money at the time. I don't know what he was thinking. Was he thinking 3 or 4 grand? I don't know. I've no idea what he was thinking. He obviously saw it was less than £1,000 and thought, not interested in that.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it was a lot of money.
Like your priorities aren't the contract.
No, they weren't. It wasn't about the contract. It was about.
Which, by the way, is actually a really good contract. In what year was this?
1998.
98. So you're on 2 grand a week in 98 at 19, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, they did. After we signed it, he said, "Look, this is the contract. This is the contract that we offer all the what we see as you as is a reserve player." I wasn't taken aback by that. I wasn't expected to go in there as a first team player. And it was also something for me. There was a bit of security there as well. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wasn't going in there with a year and thinking, I hope they don't find me out within a year and I've got nowhere to go. So for me, that was incredible that I was like doing that. And like Brendan did so much for me. He was the one that created everything. He got the contacts in there and he got the deal done as well.
It sounds like the way the agent's gone about it would have gotten their backs up, the club secretary, the chief exec and stuff. The way
that's why we had to do it. That's why Brendan knew straight away we had to get back there. Yeah. We've got to get back there. We can't leave it because, hang on, is he a bit of an arsehole? Yeah. None of that. I don't know. They must have thought me and my dad were proper fucking arseholes. Do you know what I mean? The way that we got up, it was, they weren't to know that it was all fucking planned.
Just no buy, just none of the air.
In unison as the briefcase.
I remember driving away from Pride Park and seeing it in my rear view mirror as I was driving around, thinking, "Oh no, what am I doing?"